Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Kindly do subscribe my channel before end of the video. Today topic is about suspension trauma. What is the suspension trauma? Suspension trauma happens when a worker fallen from height and suspended with harness with legs hanging while arteries continues pumping blood. The harness straps acts like a tourniquets on the veins of the backs of the legs and prevent blood return into the heart. If circulation impeded enough, heart rate will slow down and reduce oxygen to the brain. So if this trauma is happened, the brain will slowly death. The oxygen deprivation of brain may lead to the fainting and eventual death, and drop in blood return to the heart. So heart pump will stop. The legs, this cause blood pool in the victim's legs, and so finally it will cause death. Suspension trauma must be treated as an emergency. It can be fatal in 10 minutes. So how to reduce the risk of suspension trauma? The best way to slow progress in suspension trauma is to stand. When stand, the leg muscle must be constructed which puts pressure on veins. This pressure helps blood return to the hearts and reduce amounts of blood pooling in the legs. So a fallen a fallen worker can stand on as follows. Suspension trauma relief steps. So a fallen worker can deploy trauma relief straps, creating a loops that the worker steps on in it and pressure against to stand up. Relief straps are typically packaged into that attached to the harness. You can see here I have been attached the picture for easy understanding that the strap which will attach with the harness, so the when worker fall from height they can use to stand on it to or get uh, released from the harness straps. So another way that we can reduce the risk, on-site work equipment. The on-site rescue team able to bring a ladder or aerial lift or any other equipment that which helps the workers to stand on. So we can use these aerial lifts and ladders and other equipment which will available on site for rescue the fallen workers. So structural members, they can use the stand on the nearby structural members, and the on-site rescue team may be able to pull the worker over the structural member which is available nearby, or the lower level or ground level. They can bring them down through using their pulley or with the ropes on, and other methods which is available on sites. So we can see here the pictures that we can understand easily how we can rescue the people. So planning and preparation. Everyone who works at height must be fully trained in fall protection. Training should be include rescue and first aid, CPR. A specific rescue plan must be developed for each job site. The supervisor should assign duties such as who calls the emergency, performs the rescue. The supervisor should evaluate in evidence how on-site work equipment could be used. Employers should also provide specialized equipment. Suspension trauma relief straps should be available or provided for each workers who are working at height. Self-rescue device that which can use to rescue the fallen worker. Technical rescue equipment for assisted rescue by trained on-site workers. This may include pulley systems, brake tube system, winch systems, controlling designs, device, ropes, ladders, and other devices which can use and help to rescue the fallen workers. We can see here this is type of rescue pulley equipment which we can use for rescue the fallen workers. The rescue, the whether or not the suspended worker has lost consciousness, the rescue team must be careful in handling the victim. Post-rescue death is caused by heart's inability to tolerate the increase of flow of carbon dioxide, blood from the legs, and do not put rescued worker in horizontal position whether conscious or not. So when we used to rescue the worker must be carefully follow the instruction that to avoid any kind of unwanted event during the rescue process. Before a fallen, all personnel should be trained that suspension in the upright condition for longer than 5 minutes can be fatal. So workers should be trained to try to move their legs in the harness and try to push against the footholds. Workers should receive hands-on training on hanging in a harness and should try to get their legs as high as possible, their heads as close to the horizontal as possible. Workers should not be permitted to walk alone in the harness. Workers should have a way to signal for help, and rescue plan and training should ensure that of all rescue of all victims happen in the less than 5 minutes. On-site work equipment should be evaluated for potential use in a fall rescue. Harness should be selected for a specific job application and must be considered design and compliance and convenience of use fit and potential arrest injuries and suspension trauma. And the procedure which we have to follow after fall of worker. Suspended workers should try to move their legs in the harness and try to push against any footholds such as relief steps. Suspended workers should try to get their legs as high as possible and their heads as close to horizontal as possible. If the worker is suspended upright, emergency measures must be taken to remove the workers from suspension or move the fallen worker into a horizontal posture or at least to a sitting position prior to the rescue. Rescuer must be aware that the post-rescue death may happen if a victim is moved repeatedly to the horizontal position. A moving worker to quickly to horizontal position is likely to allow a large volume of used deoxygenated blood to move to the heart and causing a cardiac arrest. Rescuer must be aware of the first aid measures to prevent suspension trauma. So rescuer must be aware about the first aid measures and to prevent suspension trauma. The rescuer should be trained, they should be practiced and demonstrated about the rescue procedure and the plan. Also, all workers who are performing work at night, they should be trained well about the procedure. And thank you guys, thanks for watching my video. See you with another video. Bye bye.